Hey guys, what's going on? It's Gunnar here, welcome back. Hope you're having an awesome day. First and foremost, it's pretty much springtime here. We're sitting on March 3rd right now, and I want to talk a little bit about cover crop food plots, how I'm setting my food plots up for success come fall time. It's starting now. What I've got implemented right here on this food plot, this is about a ½ acre. You know, most of my food plots are sitting around that 1/4 to 1/2 to a 1/3 acre because I don't have a huge parcel. I don't have a lot of expendable land that I can put into food plots, as I'm sure most of you guys can relate to. Now, I hope this wind's not too bad, but it's blowing pretty good today. So bear with me here, but if you can see behind me, you can see I've got a lush green plot right now. And with it being March 3rd, that's not necessarily normal. What I've got in here is I've got some winter rye in here. Now, this winter rye that I've got in here, depending on what you buy, you can get an annual or a perennial blend. This is a perennial, so it's gonna come back in the springtime. Now, that's exactly what I want. I want this rye to come back so I have a good layer covering my soil year round. So basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna allow this rye to grow up to maturity here in the springtime. And then by the time that rye matures, I'm gonna go in with a summer blend of maybe some sunflowers, some tillage radish, oats, some soil building seed blend that is going to provide a lot of organic matter throughout the summer and a lot of shade to protect my soil, my topsoil, from those UV rays. So basically my rye is acting as a cover. So I'm covering my topsoil, I'm keeping my topsoil covered, and at the same time I'm avoiding weed growth. This rye grows so thick you can throw it on really heavy, 200 pounds per acre or even more, and you can get a real thick stand of rye and completely shade out and protect this topsoil to avoid having problems with weeds. Guys, what's going on? It's Gunnar. A lot of you have been reaching out saying you need more help. Well, I want to mention my habitat company, Hanson Habitat. If you want to take whitetails and wildlife to the next level on your own property, installing food plots, timber management, edge feathering, native habitat, fruit tree planting, whatever you need, bedding cover, I'm working with a team of the best land managers in the state of Wisconsin, and we'll travel, we'll do whatever you need to take your property to the next level. Shoot me a text message, 608-632-7233. We'll get you on the list. I'll help you with whatever you need. I got your back for life. Let's get back to the video. Now, I've done both ways here. I've done multitude of different approaches to food plotting. I've done a till spray. I've done cover crops where we're implementing cover crops, and now we're going to come in and crimp them over to terminate them as we continue to roll throughout the year. We're continually having a crop on our plots. Now, you might be saying, well, that's a lot more work. I don't have time for that. Well, it's actually not a ton of work. When you think about all the time you spend spraying or tilling or planting a cover crop that you're going to then seed into when it comes to the fall time, and then go ahead and terminate that with a spray or a chemical. When you're thinking about rotating cover crops, you're not looking at a whole lot more work. Really, what you're looking at is a cheap cover crop like a rye, and you're coming in here, you're seeding it. You can continually plant rye too at the same time. You don't have to switch blends. I'm looking at creating the best topsoil that I can so I have the most nutrient dense crop that I can provide these deer. Now, when we're looking at applying chemicals to our topsoil, I'm not a huge fan of it because of the fact that glyphosate is a known mineral chelator, which means it binds essential minerals that plants can no longer uptake. So you're binding the minerals and the nutrients in your topsoil together, so those plants that we're putting into our food plots here can't uptake these nutrients and the minerals within our topsoil. It's also highly acidic. That's why it's so important to keep our pH levels in check when we're using these harsh chemicals, these very acidic chemicals on our soil. It's doing far more damage, in my opinion, than it's doing good. Is it quick? Is it easy? Yes, 100%. It's very fast, it's efficient, but at the same time, it's causing a lot of destruction to our soil. And it's requiring us to now implement a fertilization program. Now we have to supplement the nutrients that are no longer within our soil and bioavailable from the natural process of letting organic matter rot and be absorbed into our topsoil to create that healthy, nutrient-dense soil, we're now neutralizing that every time we spray chemicals, every time we apply that acidic fertilizer. We're now imbalancing our soil, and we're chelating our minerals. So now basically what we have is a sterile soil. We're required by applying a synthetic fertilizer. So now we have far more input than we do output, and at the same time creating a far less nutrient-dense product for our deer. Now, I've talked about this before, Thomas has talked about this before. Deer feed based on nutritional value. Deer don't feed based on flavor or taste. They feed on nutritional value, palatability, and what is required from their body at a specific time into the year. So when we have a far less nutrient-dense crop, such as brassica or oats, or maybe even rye, tillage radish, anything that we're planting for deer, clover, if we have a less nutrient-rich field of that, but on the neighbors, they have a completely organic, very dense topsoil, healthy, active, lots of rotting organic matter year after year. They're building that topsoil. They're not sterilizing it with continuously spraying. They're rotating cover crops. There's animals feeding on these food plots year round, cycling those nutrients when they're essentially pooping them back out. So a highly attractive food plot is being used and hit very often. And there's a lot of nutrient cycling going on because you have so much attraction there. And therefore, they're fertilizing that soil as they're utilizing the attraction and the food within that food plot. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to allow this rye to get up. Before maturity, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna reseed, I'm gonna seed into this rye with a summer blend, a soil building summer blend that's gonna protect my soil from the UV rays, that doesn't sterilize it, and bake out all my active biology within this topsoil. I'm holding moisture, I'm building organic matter with this rye and the rotting matter that I'm letting lay there. I'm building that moisture barrier, and at the same time, I'm allowing my new crop to absorb those nutrients, grow, protect my soil from erosion, UV rays, weed competition, and at the same time, I'm not sterilizing it with harsh chemicals and acidic fertilizers and whatnot. So I'm continuously having a cover crop within this, and then I'm allowing that summer crop to grow up, and I'm timing this out where that crop is reaching maturity at the end of July or early August, when I'm wanting to plant my fall blend, my highly attractive fall blend for deer. So when I come in here, I have a standing blend, building my topsoil, pulling all these nutrients up from deep root systems, and then I'm coming in and I'm seeding my fall blend into that. And then I'm coming with my roller crimper, I'm crimping these plants over, this standing blend over, and I'm allowing that to terminate it and rot then into my soil and leach all those nutrients and minerals right into the topsoil, so my fall blend can now grow up and become very luscious, attractive, and create a highly predictable movement. Because what did I say? Nutrition equals attraction. Now, when I think about this in my head, the work that I'm putting into building my land, the value of my food plots, the attraction, the consistent movement, it far outweighs making something easy and using a spray and having to continuously apply a synthetic fertilizer, because at the end of the day, none of these herbicides or fertilizers are getting any cheaper. Now, if I can improve my topsoil, improve my crop, improve the nutritional benefit it provides to my deer, I'm willing to do really whatever it takes to create that. Now, as deer hunters and animal lovers, I think at the end of the day, all of us really want to benefit deer as a whole, or wildlife as a whole. I know I do. And with the recent research coming out and studies coming out talking about these chemicals and the damage they cause us as humans, it'd be ignorant to think that it doesn't cause some form of damage to animals and our deer population and our wildlife population as a whole as well. So I like to be a little bit more cautious about spraying any type of carcinogen like glyphosate is, or a mineral chelator like glyphosate is, binding minerals so plants can't uptake the nutrients to provide a nutrient-dense crop. I like to lean on more natural, organic practices that have been proven to benefit soil, benefit humans, become a more nutrient-dense crop, because at the end of the day, what's good for humans is most likely good for wildlife at the same time. So I'm not telling you that you should be running cover crops continuously and using these cover crop methods that I'm talking to you here about today, but I want you to weigh your options. If you can and you're willing to spend that extra time, not necessarily a lot of extra time, but it's a little bit more work. You're not gonna just dump water in a tank with some chemical and go and spray. You're gonna have to go out with a whirlybird seeder and plant these food plots and get these cover crops to grow. But at the end of the day, it's a far more fulfilling experience. The more work you put into something, the greater the benefit you receive on the back side of that, you know? It's a fulfilling experience putting in a lot of effort and getting a big return. And at the end of the day, you can sleep well at night knowing that you're doing everything you can to the best of your abilities, to the best of your knowledge, to not damage what we have and what's so precious for us right here, right now, which is our environment, our world, our land. So as deer lovers and animal lovers, we all want the best for our herds and what makes them the most healthy. And from what I've gathered, the research I've looked at, the science-backed research, I've found that the cover crop aspect, the cover crop method of planting food plots is how we as hunters can substantially improve our topsoil, because as we all know, the United States, we're running out of topsoil because of our farming practices. It's not a healthy method of producing food for the country. Now, I'm not saying I'm the pinnacle of knowledge when it comes to farming practices and how we should or should not be feeding the world, but I know that if we as hunters can weigh the options and pick the more healthy, beneficial, nutrient-dense option, like I'm telling you here with the cover crops, I feel like we as hunters can make a greater benefit for our herds, our wildlife, and our environment at the same time. So I wanted to get this out there just ahead of food plot season. Maybe you still have time to create a soil disturbance, come in with a cover crop like this winter rye that I'm running here, and get it started and get this routine running so we can start building our soil for the falls to come and drop our costs with the input and our chemicals and our sprays, fertilizers, and keep our soils balanced so we don't have continuous lime spreading or potash. But I'm excited to bring this transition for my food plots to you guys and show you guys what kind of results I'm producing and how I'm attracting deer and what the difference is from a conventional food plot practice to this cover crop approach that I'm telling you about here today. So I wanted to get this video out to you guys talking about my food plot method for this season. I'm excited to see the results, the nutritional benefit, the attraction, the palatability that I'm bringing to my herds. And at the end of the day, the more nutrition, the more palatability equals bigger antlers, healthier deer. So that's what we all want. So I hope this helped you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Guys, it's Gunnar. Look, a lot of you guys have been talking to me, telling me how you need help. Well, I want to talk to you today about Whitetail coaching. One-on-one virtual coaching with me. We'll go in depth on whatever problems, whatever help you need. We'll find the solution you're looking for. Shoot me a text, 608-632-7233. 608-632-7233. I got your back for life. Now let's get back to the video.